And it's not, I don't see myself doing a bunch of episodes on here, but really I wanted to come on here and talk about how, we have the draft coming up. And another big news, it's official that Aaron Rodgers is a New York Jet. So talking to some Dolphin fans, I think it's hitting them, it's coming to reality for them. Like, oh, it happened, so now are you a little worried as a Dolphin fan? Are you a little bit worried? Let's assume this. Let's assume Tua doesn't get hurt. Let's say Tua plays all 17 games. Are you sure we're better than the Jets? Obviously, there's more famous players on the Dolphins, but are we better than the Jets? That's the problem with fans. The Miami Dolphins have a lot more famous players, but does it mean you're better than the Jets? You better hope so. Assuming Tua plays 17 games, do we beat them? Do we split? You got to assume you split with the Jets. You split with the Bills. I don't know what's happened in New England, but I feel like it's going to be very bad. It's going to be very bad for New England. I see a New England team that is going to have one of the most frustrating seasons that they have had since before Tom Brady, and it's well-deserved. Fuck off. But I don't think the Jets could be as bad as the Green Bay Packers were last year. Realistically thinking, can the Jets go 8-9 or 9-8? They went 7-10, right? You got to think Aaron Rodgers is worth 2 wins, so that puts him at 9-8. You got to think that that's a way better team he has in New York than he did in Green Bay. The Jets got to be a 10-win team. But then you think so does Miami. If Tua's healthy. If Tua's not healthy, they could lose as many as you want them to lose. That defense is better score a lot of points. Is Mike White the answer? We know what that. You know what it's going to be. It worked out for a little bit in New York, but he's not going to be any different from Brissett or Bridgewater. I didn't like the backup ad with that. I wanted someone that was like, oh, fine, he'll go to Miami because he's competing for a job maybe, even though we knew nobody would be because you got to run with Tua one more time. But as a backup, you're like, all right, Mike White, what is he going to run the ball to who? Like, our running backs are fine unless you. There's rumors about Delvin Cook or Joe Mixon. Maybe for a year you're going all in. I don't know. You're going all in this year, obviously. But then you got the Bills, and there's something in the air that feels like the Bills are going to take a step back, right? Am I making this up? Doesn't the energy feel like the Bills had a cool 3-year run where they're like the favorites, and maybe now this year they're going to have like a step back, still be a playoff team, but maybe they only win like 11 games, right? They're not as dominant. So then you have a tight race in our division, and it's like 11-6, 11-6, 10-7 race between Jets, Bills, and Dolphins. Maybe. But even that, one of them can't make, all three of us can't make the playoffs. You can't all three make the playoffs and then have the Jags win their division and no one else in that division, no Colts, no Texans, no Titans. And then you have, that's one team there, and then you have the Bengals only make it? You mean the Ravens aren't going to make it now with OBJ and Lamar? Lamar's going back to Baltimore. So you got Lamar and the Bengals. And then you have Watson in Cleveland? You got Watson in Cleveland. So you got three. Their division's just as fucking crazy. And we haven't even got to the West. You have the Bengals, you have the Ravens, you have the Browns. Then you have the Steelers, who with a rookie quarterback went 8-9 or 9-8. They went 9-8. Tomlin still never had a losing season. So you have the Steelers, Ravens, Bengals, Browns. You have the Jags by themselves. We think the Titans take a step back again. It looks like they're trying to trade Tannehill, and they're rebuilding. Right? Texans rebuilding, Colts rebuilding. So you got the Jags alone. You got our whole division. You better hope the Pats are not even competitive. Let's say that they're the weak link in that. You say the Pittsburgh's the weak link. Both teams could magically, let's say the Pats or Steelers made the playoffs next year. Would you be like shocked? You wouldn't be shocked. You'd be like, well, that's the system. That's the system. The Patriots can do that. The Steelers can do it. That's all you would say. You'd be like, you wouldn't be shocked, right? So, and then you have the West. You have the Chiefs. Automatic playoff. They're going to make the playoffs. I don't care if they take a step back. They're making the playoffs, even if it's a wild card. They're in the playoffs. So you got that's a spot gone. And then you have the Chargers. They bring in a new offensive coordinator, supposedly a very good one from Dallas. Okay, so is this going to be an improved team? If not, if they tank, then all of a sudden, what kind of disaster would have to happen for the Chargers to not be a playoff team, or even be in the playoff race at winning 9 games? So then who's taking the dip in the West? You got to assume, all right, well, are the Raiders going to have a really bad year with Garoppolo? I mean, how bad can it be? Can it be worse than it was last year? It can't be worse. Garoppolo's chemistry with McDaniels is why they have him there. They work with each other. They know what's going to happen. They're going to win more games than they won last year. And the Broncos can't do worse. With Sean Payton, they went 5-12. They can't go 5-12 again. They can't go 4-13. That's not going to happen. They're going to win again. They're going to win even more. Let's say the Broncos aren't as good. So fine, they go 8-9. Where are they getting these 8 wins from? It has to be distributed out somewhere. So a lot of people in the AFC East are going to be shocked. Here's the thing. Last year I said, okay, the West is stacked. You have Russell, Mahomes, Herbert, and Carr. I said this all along. I said it to all my friends. I go, listen, of those 4 teams, one of them is going to be like, holy shit, this did not go the way we thought. This is a complete shock. And I said one of them is going to be like short from the playoffs. It turned out 2 teams were like, holy shit, this didn't go the way we thought. Raiders and Broncos, right? And that kind of made room for the Dolphins to get in. So now you're asking for 2 teams in the West to be like, holy shit, that did not go right. And then you're asking for 2 teams in the North to be totally shocked and go, what? That didn't work at all. And then you're asking for 2 more teams in our division, the East, to go, holy shit, that didn't work out. So you're to think, listen, there's 16 teams in the conference. You're telling me 6 of them are going to be completely shocked. It has to happen that way. And it could be the Dolphins. The Dolphins could start the year and go 1-4, and they end the year 7-10. If they went 7-10, you would be like, holy shit, I'm shocked. Listen, if they went 7-10, that means Tua went down, right? That's what you would assume. But if they went 7-10 and Tua went down, you'd be like, all right, well, Tua went down. So, of course, they went 7-10. But let's say Tua played healthy and they went 7-10 or 6-11. As a fan, you would be shocked. You'd be like, this didn't work out. There's problems in the locker room. McDaniel isn't the answer. Shit like that would be coming out. You wouldn't be shocked if the Patriots took a step back. Would you be shocked if the Jets went 7-10 or 6-11? I would be shocked. I'd be shocked if the Dolphins, Jets, or Bills won less than 8 games. That's what I'm saying. That's shocking. That's shocking. If any of those 3 teams win less than 8 games, that's shocking. If the Bengals, Ravens, or Browns win less than 7 games, that's shocking. And if the Chiefs, Chargers, Broncos, or Raiders, if 2 of those 4 teams lose less than 7 games, that's shocking. And guess what? Statistically, it has to happen. So we're going to be shocked next year. It's going to be a fucking mess for 6 teams if you want your team to make the playoffs. You get 4 division winners and 3 wild cards. And right now, there's literally only 4 teams. You would say Houston, Indianapolis, and Tennessee. I'm out. They're out. Right? And then you could argue those are 3 teams out of the 16, so 13 teams competing for 7 playoff spots. And then you could say Steelers and Patriots, the weakest of the 13. Right? The weakest of the 13 left. So now that leaves us to 11 teams fighting for 7 spots. So that means 11, 10, 9, 8. 4 teams are going to just be very disappointed. And maybe fire a coach or just be like, your job was to make the playoffs. You didn't, so you're out. And you hope of those 4 teams, it's the Broncos, the Browns or Ravens, the Jets, and maybe the Chargers. You know, like, it's just like, what's it going to be if you're a Dolphins fan? And then we have the draft. And in the second round of the draft, I think maybe I'll do another episode pre-draft, maybe have a friend on here. But we got to see who we're going to pick up. Is it going to be an interior lineman or a tackle, or we go to tight end? We still got to fill our tight end hole. We need a tight end that blocks but can also maybe catch. And, you know, what are we doing with the line? We got Connor Williams. We got Robert Hunt. We got Teron Armstead. Then we signed a guy, and then we signed another center guy. Maybe Connor moves to the outside. Get rid of Austin Jackson. Liam Eichenberg. No, we're not going to. They should be backups. So let's see what happens there. Secondary looks very exciting. I think I saw Eric Rowe's not going to be with the team. So you know, you have Javon Holland and who else? And you have Brandon Jones coming back. Fine. You got your secondary set. Nick Needham comes back, your slot guy. You got your linebackers. They picked up that one linebacker. I'm sorry, I forgot his name, but, you know, let's see what happens, man. Same running backs we're doing it. Wide receiver core is a little bit more exciting this year. I don't know what's going to happen with Cedric Wilson, but I like Burrows. I loved him as a special teams guy. Don't have to worry about that. I think we didn't have that person last year, so let me know what you guys think. Thank you if you watched. Thank you for liking, subscribe to this channel. Comment what you think. It helps my algorithm. I appreciate all the viewers, and I want to grow this channel and put more time into this now that football season's kind of getting back into it. But, man, basketball season's awesome, and I didn't think I would be doing any episodes about basketball season because I thought basically the Heat would just get bounced out early, and now here I am, pumped and excited. So this is going to be a fun few months when, you know, usually this is a slow time for us because we're like, football season's not here. We have to do the draft and then wait around. Hopefully the Heat can entertain us through June, and then all we have to do in July is sit around and watch baseball and pretend to enjoy it and watch the home run derby and act like we enjoy it, but at least there will be more news. And then August gets here and we got the preseason. So it's right around the corner already. You know, we're about to enter May and we got 3 more months, 90 days before we really feel like we're back in football season. So let's hang in there and hope the Heat can carry us there. And we'll see you guys later. Thank you for watching. Good night.